Okay guys, I want to put something in this cabinet and I have to go get it from a corner that I've literally never shown on here. Here we go. What's up fam, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing part 2 in our originally planned 4-part series of Decluttering with me, which has now already become a 5-part series because last time I was not able to get the kitchen finished. So today we are finishing up what's left of my kitchen in what I'm going to be calling the pantry. And so today we're going to be cleaning our pantries, not to be confused with cleaning our panties, although you should keep those clean too. And if you like minimalism and bad mom jokes, I would love it if you would go down and hit the subscribe button to subscribe to my channel and join our minimalist family. Give that like button a little tap tap taparoo and let's get started decluttering. Hey, how's it going?
Good.
Are you helping?
Yes.
Good. Last time, as I was doing my kitchen declutter, my husband and the kids came home from sledding early, so I left off right at this section. I was getting into the teas, and now I'm going to start right back where we left off. The wonderful thing about decluttering after 5 years of minimalism is that there's not that much to do, and it's just mostly maintenance. So today I'm sharing my tips and tricks for decluttering the kitchen and the pantry, and it's everything that I've learned after 5 years of minimalism that helps keep my home tidy and happy.
Heard all the lies, but you ain't gazing on someone in denial, 'cause you want dollar bills right now, but you gotta work real hard. I know you want it.
I never in my life would have predicted that we needed special storage to hold our masks, but here we are, so here's my mask storage, not getting rid of anything. You might be wondering why in the world we have all of this stuff out here in the kitchen instead of the bathroom, but I'll get to that in a minute. Here's my son's EpiPen we have to keep around because he's allergic to peanuts. So I'm going to talk about why we have this in the kitchen instead of the bathroom. This should be in the cabinet. I have no idea how it ended up in there. These are the things that need to be moved to different spaces or gotten rid of, and I have no idea how my mascara ended up in the kitchen. I think we need to talk about something before we get started, and that's the difference between German and American kitchens, because American kitchens have refrigerators that are a lot bigger and just in general a lot more space, and people shop less often because a lot of the times you have to take a car to travel 15 or 30 minutes to get to the grocery store to go shopping. It's not like that here. I can literally walk 1 or 2 blocks and be at 3 or 4 grocery stores. People just go shopping more often for groceries and they don't stock up as much. So you might think that my pantry looks very, very empty, but that's because the lifestyle here is so much more walkable and people just go to the store more often. The storage space that you see in my house is probably not typical of the average German homes. I would say that it's quite large compared to the average German homes. If there are any Germans in my audience right now, you can chime in the comment section below and let me know what you think. So just keep that in mind as we're going through the pantry areas, because I feel like I am not maybe the best representation of the typical German or the typical American style pantry. I've only ever had one pantry before in my life that was a dedicated separate pantry, which was my Indiana kitchen. And then when we moved to New Jersey, I had kind of a cabinet next to the refrigerator that was basically my pantry because that was a smaller kitchen. But here the pantry is kind of this area. And then we also have this kind of roll out pantry that you'll see in a minute as well. Are you still okay over there?
Yeah.
How's it going, huh?
Good. Very good.
Very good. Are you still being a big, big helper?
Mm-hmm.
I'm so happy to hear that. So this is where I keep our cereals, our nut storage breads, a little bit of extra rice, and some other odds and ends, as well as my Jell-O storage, which is a lot. And as you get the cabinets cleaned out when you're decluttering, it's always a good idea to clean them out. Use a hand vac or your vacuum cleaner appliance to get it in there and wipe it down if you need to. If you've been a member of our Zen family and following me for a while, you've probably realized that I'm more on the extreme side of the minimalism spectrum. And most of the time when it comes to organizing supplies and containers and things like that, my philosophy is if it's not something you have to pay money for, then don't. Can we please normalize using cardboard boxes and empty glass containers instead of fancy storage things? I'm not ragging on fancy storage containers. I was trying to buy some from IKEA myself, but unfortunately they were sold out. But I think that empty boxes are severely underrated in the YouTube community for organizing. Anyway, today I'm going to take some of these things and try to put them in my empty glass jars. It says fragile.
That must be Italian.
No, actually these really are for Italy. My son is allergic to peanuts, so I have these cashew and pistachio butters that I buy that are imported from Italy. As far as things that I'm taking out, unfortunately, they're so rough, nobody wants to eat them. These are getting taken out. I've had this dried butterfly pea flowers for tea and other things for my blog that I had been meaning to do for a long time, and just with moving so many times, moving to a different country, this and that, I've never got around to it, and I think this actually expired. Best before June 2nd, 2020. So that's expired. No reason for me to keep it. Okay guys, I want to put something in this cabinet and I have to go get it from a corner that I've literally never shown on here. I'm a little bit embarrassed to be showing you. So we live in a 100-year-old home in Germany. Like a lot of 100-year-old homes in Germany and probably elsewhere, we don't have any closets, none whatsoever. So we have to use either cabinets or wardrobes or dressers and drawers to keep things inside and out of sight. And unfortunately, our vacuum cleaner doesn't fit in anything or anywhere so far. So we have dreams of kind of closing this off to make a storage closet. But right now with the lockdown, that's obviously not something that's happened, and it's gonna be something that's gonna be pushed out into the future. So right now we're leaving the corner as it is. We also have our recycling that we take out on a weekly basis, the vacuum cleaner. We keep giant bags of rice because we eat a lot of rice in my family, extra oil, and some things that you can switch for money. And what I wanted to get was these vegetables to put over here.
I've seen those faces, I've heard all the lies, but you ain't gazing on someone.
Here are the things that are empty and I need to throw away, or they are expired and I need to get rid of them, like this flower tea. In this cabinet, we have some crusty gochujang sauce that needs to be thrown away because it's no good anymore. This is the black bean paste that I love for making jjajangmyeon, and I have these lavender flowers that I use for one recipe and to make sugar scrub, and then I've never used since then, so I'm going to get rid of. This I need to return to my sister-in-law because she owns a restaurant. She gave us a bunch of stuff for our kitchen and it was way too much. And then down here you can see that this is where we store our extra paper towels and some honey and soy sauce. As I said before, I'm a big fan of using just empty jars to hold things, and we've got a lot of really unique ingredients that are in these jars. Like this one is dried dandelion for dandelion tea. This one looks like coffee, but it's actually cocoa. We've got sunflower seeds. This is cocoa nibs that sometimes we put in oatmeal or other things. We've also got chia seeds. And this one is really yummy. This is like a black seaweed that's really good with rice. All of these jars are not so very aesthetic looking. Maybe someday when IKEA actually gets the bamboo and glass containers back in stock, I'll switch them out. But for right now, I've got these jars and they work okay for us.
I've seen those faces, I've heard all the lies, but you ain't gazing on someone in denial, 'cause you want dollar bills right now, but you gotta work real hard.
There are so many ways to use jars and other glass containers that you already own for extra storage. Like I turned this large jar into a cookie jar. Now it's time to put all of this stuff back.
'Cause you can make it too. If not, says who?
My husband doesn't like to store a lot of stuff on this particular pull-out rack because he feels like the support isn't well done. So we keep this rack very light and try to store things inside of the other cabinets as much as possible. That's why you don't see a lot of heavier items on this pull-out rack. So here I have a bunch of things that I've decluttered. A lot of it is trash that's going to be recycled. If you have usable food, you can donate it to things like food pantries, but unfortunately all I have is impractical and expired food. So that concludes our pantry declutter for today. I hope you enjoyed this declutter with me. Oh, I forgot to update you on the bundt cake status. I tried the bundt cake pan as promised. I made 2 recipes. The first recipe was a breakfast bundt cake and the second recipe was a regular bundt cake. The breakfast bundt cake was 3 thumbs down from my husband and both of my sons. So that was not a big success. And then the bundt cake recipe went over pretty well with them. They liked the regular cake, but what I did not like was cleaning that bundt cake pan. I ended up having to use a Q-tip to get the crumbs out because it was so impossible to clean. This is horrible. I cannot see myself keeping this pan because it's not versatile enough for me to justify it taking up space in my cabinets. I can't believe that I've carried it with me for all of these years. It just goes to show you that even when you're a minimalist, you can get overly attached to the idea of things. I hope you enjoyed this declutter with me. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel. We would love to see you around again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
I've seen those faces, I've heard all the